Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new segment premiering today. That's right. We are now going to be reading Am I the Asshole stories on Reddit. These are stories in which people go to the internet, put forth their experiences, and inquire, am I the asshole? And let judgment be unto the masses. Court by popular opinion, some might even consider it a real. So, for this first story, it's one that I have personal experience with, or at least a personal relation to. I do have stories lined up. I have some stories regarding family, some stories regarding kids, and I don't know, they looked pretty amusing. Can I get an actually decent track for this, please? Yeah, that works. So this first story is, am I the asshole for refusing to help my dad with a scouting trip after I explicitly said I want nothing to do with scouting anymore? I, for those who have not known, used to be in Boy Scouts until I turned like 16. It was a fucking nightmare for the most part. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy being in Scouts. No, sorry. Turns out, packing things up and going camping every single month kind of sucks, especially for the months that get super, super cold or super, super hot, which where I lived was all the fucking time. It was either too hot or too cold. And I'm not an athletic person, so I just genuinely did not like going out and doing stuff. In regards to going out and camping and learning how to whittle is nice, but the other not so fun camping activities. So let's see what this guy's experience is. I, a 19-year-old male, spent years in scouting. To be blunt, while I'm an Eagle Scout, the experience was hellish for me, and the day I turned 18, I was done. I made it clear to my family one day that I have zero intent of ever registering as an adult leader, volunteering, or participating in any scouting events again. Sounds about right. My dad, however, decided to stay involved and take on running trips. He even opened his own troop. Recently, he'd planned to camp out for his group. He's a total novice when it comes to actual outdoor logistics, to the point where he and the other adults were planning to pack with the heavy cast iron skillets and stone gear for a backpacking setup, which later morphed into a drive-up car camping since they didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. Heavy shit is heavy. That's really what it comes down to. When you're backpacking, you have to pack light, like tin gear, maybe stainless steel if it's thin stainless steel, but primarily tin cooking sets. I told him weeks ago that I'm not going. Despite this, he and my mom have been trying to force me to go anyways. Every time I set a boundary, the goalposts are moved and the manipulation tactics started flying. When I reiterated that I wasn't registering as an adult, my dad tried to claim that if I can't commit to scouting, I must not have any intent to be truthful with him in life. What? When I refused to go on the trip, he immediately pulled the victim card, whining that we can't do this without you. When I didn't fall for that, he resorted to vague threats, saying, I have so many things that I could also say to you. Huh. When they then hit me with Scouting's youth protection rules, telling me that because I'm an unregistered 19-year-old, I wouldn't be allowed to speak to any of the scouts on the trip, meaning that they essentially wanted to force me into coming along and being a silent pack mule. When none of that worked, it turned into demanding that I help pack, haul heavy boxes out of the garage, and move cars around to get them ready. My dad does have some back pain right now, so I offered to help with some lifting and a couple of heavy items. Oh my bad. My dad does have some back pain right now, so I offered to help lifting a couple of heavy items so that he wouldn't physically hurt himself in the garage. But I drew the line at being dragged into prepping or attending an event that I explicitly opted out of months ago. Now my parents are furious. They're claiming that if the trip falls apart or they can't manage the gear, it's entirely my fault or for being selfish and unsupportive. And I'm ruining things for everyone. My take is that if you willingly take on a project that you lack the ability to pull off without forcing an unwilling third party to bail you out, that's on you. Am I the asshole for holding my boundary and refusing to help or attend this scouting trip? Ooh. My immediate, knee-jerk reaction is no, you're not an asshole for setting and holding your boundaries. Months ago, you had stated that you're not doing this anymore. And they're refusing to respect you taking, or they're refusing to take no for an answer and blatantly disrespecting your decisions. As an adult. As somebody who is also a former scout, there are two aspects to it when it comes to scouting. One is the willingness to help others in your own troop. And two is the adults in your troop being prepared to for any possibility that might happen on that trip, whether it be emergency, whether it may not emergency. Literally the motto for Boy Scouts is be prepared. Why would you even go on this trip if you are not prepared for it? It's so stupid. So having to rely on you as an Eagle Scout and your skills that you learned along that, even if you are unwilling to use those skills, it is not on other people to force you to, engage. So those are my 2 cents. Not the asshole, your parents sound terrible. What's their obsession with scouting? I grew up in the LDS church. Oh yeah, Latter-day Saints. And they take scouting almost as seriously as they take the church. I feel like that's been a consistent experience where I grew up as well. That's wild. Not the asshole. You're not doing something that they don't want to do. Yeah. It seems like the general verdict is not the asshole. 60 plus years as a scout here, nobody should be forced to do something that they disagree with. Telling your parents how they feel is literally proving your intent to be truthful. I agree. Frankly, I think the district and council leadership are falling down on the job by allowing them to be taking kids into the wilds without necessary training. Yeah, 100%. You should have experience if you're going out into the wilds, and you should also be prepared for any situation that would occur. And that shit takes time to figure out. I'm a scouter. Your dad needs to check his safety youth training, or formerly youth protection training. As an unregistered adult, you're not allowed to go camping with a troop. Full stop. This is a hard and fast rule. Correct. I actually remember this one. If unregistered adults are going on camping trips, your council and the Scouts First hotline needs to be made aware. Ooh. Mm-hmm. That's yeah, that's like a hard and fast rule. ultimately, verdict, not the asshole. Like, straight up, just they are a not the asshole. Like that's my long and short of it. Is it not letting me log in? Oh, there we go. Maybe if I reload. There we are. Also gonna go ahead and join because I want to be doing this consistently. All right. Here's a relationship one. Am I the asshole for refusing to be in the same space as my friend's boyfriend? Starting off strong. Interesting. My 26-year-old friend, or my 26-year-old female friend, Katie. Oh, no, they're 26. Katie is 30. My friend Katie is in a relationship with Danny, who's 32, and they started dating about 1.5 years ago after being party friends for about 2 years. I had my issues with Danny before, but never said anything as it was not my place. My issues with him are primarily due to him being a misogynist in my opinion, always speaking down to women, thinks he's superior and smarter than everyone, talks shit about all his friends, but is always going out with them. But again, I kept my opinion to myself, as it's not my relationship, and every time I started to circle around the issue, Katie seemed to agree with everything he did and said, and agreed that she as a woman should be submissive to him and stay at home while he partied. Reminder that he always went to parties together as friends, and that's how they met. Oh no. About a month ago, Danny sent Katie a very mean message. I don't remember it word for word, but it went something like, she was a waste of time and space and has the biggest problem in his life. And he's mentally tired of having to put up with her and whining. And her whining? Bro, what a dude. That message broke her like I've never seen. She sobbed for days in my lap, and she didn't bother saying anything else. Oh, and he didn't bother saying anything else to her, just blocked her and done. 1 month, no contact. 1 month, she sobbed. For 1 month, I stayed at her house various nights so she wouldn't feel alone. And for 1 month, he went out to parties every day with different girls. About a week ago, he unblocked her and sent a message asking if he could go to her house to pick up a few things. She agreed and told me that she wanted nothing to do with him and she would return his stuff and kick him out. To my surprise, when I get off work and called her to see how she was doing, thinking that she was again crying, she was very cheery. She said that they had talked and that he was going to change. That he knew he was in the wrong, and after going out with other girls, he realized that she was the one, and she accepted him back. Well, I can't look at this man in the face after already having my very strong opinion in everything he did. I just can't. Now Katie is always inviting me to go out with them or go to her house and hang out, and I have to tell her I can't be in the same space as Danny. I love you, I'll always be here for you, but I can't support this relationship. Just looking at his face pisses me off. Well, now Katie is mad, and she says I'm being childish. And that what happened between them, I shouldn't be mad, and... Oh, wait. What happened between them, and I shouldn't be mad about something that didn't involve me. He's a changed man, and if I can't be with him, then she can't be with me. That I'm not in a relationship, and I don't know how things work. So she blocked me. Danny blocked me, and I'm confused. Some of my friends say that I'm in the right, but they also wouldn't put up with it. Some of my friends say that I have in common with Katie, and I should have never said anything. That it's her relationship and that I should just be friendly. So am I the asshole? On one hand, I really understand caring so much about your friend and like wanting to see the best for them, especially when they are in a toxic situation. That's really difficult to be on standby. That being said, you're also establishing your own boundaries of like, hey, I really, really, really do not like this person, and this person is not good for you, it's not good for me. So I'm just not going to be a part of it. I do not think you're the asshole for establishing that boundary. Just like straight up. Especially like you are doing what is best for you. Totally. Not the asshole, you handled it perfectly. I hope she gets out of there. Yeah, I do too. I hope she finds a better relationship with somebody who's better for her. I don't know where that relationship is now, but he does not sound like the greatest man. Not the asshole. It did involve you for a month. What kind of shoulder that kind shoulder she gives you enough friend points to call out your friend for their dumbassery, at least in my mind. I agree. Like, if you're by somebody's side for a month while they're going through shit, like, yeah, you deserve to have that credence lent towards your opinion. At least that's my thoughts behind it. Really, like, when it comes down to it, you're not the asshole. This next one stood out to me because I thought it sounded kind of petty, but kind of fun. Am I the asshole for buying a hot tub after my brother's friends kept refusing to allow him or anyone else in their pool that my brother helped me buy? My brother Pete, 14, and his friends, C and J, both 14, got the idea in the middle of June to buy a pool for the rough summer that we usually have because the local community pool is being shut down. When Pete or his friends couldn't convince anyone to buy it for them, they got motivated to work. Pete mowed lawns and did other yard work around the county, and the other two did their own work. And week after week, they pooled their money enough together to buy a cheap above ground pool. It's me and C and J. Me and C and J's parents were really impressed, and they thought that they deserved it after working. We all agreed to set up the pool in C's backyard because their backyard is the biggest. They filled it up and did all the work for it, and the first weekend it was available, Pete and his friends all hung out in the pool. The problem is that the only time Pete or Jay have been in... No, the problem is that was the only time Pete or Jay have been in the pool. C, apparently, is allowed to go in whenever, but nobody else. His parents have even asked multiple times and they were shot down. One time Pete ended up sneaking into the pool while I was at work, and when C's dad found him out there, he came up and yelled at him. C was in the water too, according to Pete. He and Jay were obviously confused, so when I went up to talk to C's parents about Pete sneaking into the pool, I asked why they weren't allowed to do it. C's dad kept harping on the fact that Pete went in without permission, which I understand. What I don't understand is why... What I don't understand is why whatever they were asked... Yeah, my bad. Dyslexia kicking. What I don't understand is why whenever they were asked to come over and swim, they weren't allowed to. They both explained that it is a liability reason, meaning that if anything were to happen to anyone in the pool, like if someone drowned, they don't want to be responsible, and it's easier just to not allow anybody but their son in the water. These are teenagers, not toddlers, and they all know how to swim. At the end of the conversation, C's dad was like, the pool's on my property and we used our water to fill it up, so we decide what to do with it. I raised my voice a little bit by reminding them that they didn't buy the pool and it belongs to their son, my brother, and Jay. I understand that it's on their property, but it's unfair to gatekeep it from the people who helped buy it. They wouldn't answer that and threatened Pete wouldn't be allowed into their house at all if they were asked again, which Pete would hate to do since he loves their house. So I left it in. Pete was pissed, to say the least, and loved to rant to anybody who listened while gaming with his friends about this situation. He asked if they could really do that and that we should call the cops. But I told him that let's not go that far yet. Even though I agreed to those people basically stole from them. but he and C have been friends for nearly 10 years, and they do everything together. So I'd hate to see them separated over something petty like that. So I came up with another idea. I went shopping online and found an inflatable hot tub for about the same amount of money that they spent on the pool. It might have been just as petty, but I dipped a bit into my savings. Might have been just as petty, and I dipped a bit into my savings, but I bought it. Could I have bought the pool myself? Maybe. But at the same time, Pete wanted it bad, and I got other things to worry about. And he's learning to work for what he wants. And a hot tub's pretty good for my back. Pete's been in the hot tub nearly every day since it's been up. His friends are welcome inside it too. Only rule is that they gotta shower at their own houses before or after they get in. It's big enough for like 5 people. C and J have been over a lot to go in the hot tub, and their parents have noticed. Jay's dad is totally okay with it and thinks that C's parents are what C's parents are doing is total bullshit too, but he agrees that they still get their reward for all their work on the hot tub. C's parents, on the other hand, aren't too happy. C told me himself that he prefers to be in the hot tub with his friends rather than swimming alone in his pool, and his parents don't get that. I haven't spoken to them directly about this, but C heard rants from their mom about how everyone thinks there's some kind of child-hating monsters for not allowing anyone in their pool that they didn't buy. Hasn't helped that Pete still loves to rant about it too. And he knows a lot of neighborhood kids who are also welcome to come dip in the hot tub. I do see C's mom at the store sometimes, but she doesn't make eye contact with me anymore. I know it's petty, but am I the asshole? It's fucking, that is hilarious. That is like objectively really funny. So, you know, I used to be one of the boys back when I was in high school. We, especially like middle school, me and like 2 other friends, one was in the stream earlier, Eclipse, and another friend of mine, I'm gonna call him K, used to like be the type to ride our bikes around. We would go down to the park, which had like a little forested area, go exploring and all kinds of stuff. It was a great time. And like, yeah, if it were necessary, we would totally do something like this, of like pooling up our money to buy a pool or whatever for ourselves to beat the summer heat inside of. And man, if the parents that we had decided arbitrarily, no, you can't use it even though you paid for it, after we set it up in their backyard, we would be fucking pissed. There would be hell and high water. We would probably rip the pool apart, except, I mean, probably Kay would rip the pool apart. But like, you know, we just didn't do that because our parents were actually sane. We would set up like slip and slides and shit in our backyard and just totally fuck up our knees and elbows from missing the slides and sliding down the grass instead. So it's like, yeah, like, no, you're not the asshole. And quite frankly, it's your hot tub. You should be allowed to use it however you wish, even if that's inviting other people over to hang out with you in the hot tub. It's fucking sick. Update. Holy shit, this blew up a lot more than I thought. Thank you all for your input. I wanted to clear up some things in an edit. I'm a 30-year-old man. C's parents are pretty wealthy. I don't really think the water bill or anything they're paying for the pool is going to break them. Yes, I know Pete is owed his money back for the pool, but we're on thin ice as it is with C's parents, and I hate to make things even worse. He hasn't really asked about getting his money back, and all he really wanted to do was use the pool. No, small claims court is out of the picture right now. It'd be a waste of everybody's time and money. And to be honest, the only people who aren't satisfied with the outcome are C's parents. I'm not going to vandalize the pool. If C's parents are embarrassed because they're stubborn and being anal about an issue that is really a non-issue, that's their problem, not yours. You're not the asshole. All right. This one's an interesting one that had a kind of funny looking headline. Am I the asshole for taking away a toy from my wife's 3-year-old nephew after he punched my 11-month-old daughter twice? My wife's sister and her husband came from Korea for a 1.5-month visit together with their 3-year-old son and daughter. Their son is uncontrollable, does whatever he wants, and doesn't listen to his parents. When he does something wrong, they try to talk to him, but he ignores them. He does not understand no, and does not care if you are upset or have a tense voice. He just laughs. I think he does understand because he was not taught, but maybe there's more to it. I'm just not sure yet. I can see how much effort they put into talking, but it doesn't work. I think the boys need discipline and an understanding of actions and consequences at this age. Otherwise, they will go bananas. I'm inclined to agree with that statement, depending on the boy. I think that's pretty gender neutral. At, age of 2 to 3, you should understand that your actions have consequences. One day, my 11-month-old crawled up to him, and I was looking up to see what was going to happen because no one was around except me. She sat in front of me, and all of a sudden, he punched her in the face. To my surprise, instead of facing consequences, he got rewarded by his mom reading him a book upstairs. Of course, she explained that the baby is small and it's bad to do that. Oh! This moment confirmed an older suspicion that I had. The boy does not get disciplined. Although I might say that I do not know everything, and it is true that I do not. But what I do know is that their reaction to this was wrong. I'm inclined to agree. Moving forward, he likes to play with the old toy kitchen that my 9-year-old has. Moving forward, he likes to play with the old toy kitchen that my 9-year-old has in the bedroom. They decided to bring it down to the living room so that he could play. While he was playing, my 11th-month-old crawled up to the kitchen and started to play with it too. This time, I visibly understood that he didn't want to share it, and he punched her again. This time, I came over and took away the kitchen, saying, "No more kitchen for you." He cried, of course, so they took him out to the playground to calm him down. My wife confronted me, visibly frustrated. She said that he's just a boy, and I do not understand how to raise 2 siblings of the same age. Maybe I do not, I said, but he should not have been rewarded for that behavior. Instead, he should have been disciplined. "That is not your place," she said. I replied, "This is exactly my place. This is my house, my kitchen, and this is the second time he punched my daughter. His parents do not discipline him and instead reward him for his behavior, so I did it." Everyone heard this. I created an uncomfortable environment because I said it out loud, but at the same time, I think their boy should start facing consequences for his misbehavior. I've never raised a boy, so I might be utterly wrong, and yet my inner voice tells me that there's some truth to what I said. A boy has got to face consequences. Anybody has got to face consequences, whether they're a boy or a girl. Either way, when you do something bad, like punching somebody else in the face, yeah, like you don't get rewarded for it. That's, like genuinely, like shocking behavior. Not the asshole. Ask your wife why she's okay with her daughter being punched in the face and then being rewarded for that. She'll just say he's little and doesn't know any better. Yeah. That's, genuinely, a 3-year-old going around and punching people in the face because he doesn't get what he wants is wild. Not the asshole. You're way more restrained than I would have been. I would have been explaining chapter and verse why they were terrible parents and setting their son up for a bad experience when he meets another child capable of striking back. I love that. Okay, that's pretty good. He's gonna meet somebody bigger and stronger than he is, and he's gonna get his shit kicked in. Ooh. not the asshole. They're raising the type of man who doesn't understand the word no and has anger issues. Good on you for defending your daughter. I agree. Somebody give that man an updo. Yeah, effectively not the asshole. It's not, it shouldn't be your responsibility to raise somebody else's child. I do agree with that. But at the same time, you're also establishing your home's ground rules and protecting your daughter process. So you do what you gotta do, man. Seriously. Here's another family matter. Am I the asshole for not sharing my food with my niece when she didn't eat her own? This is a very familiar sounding situation for me. Am I the asshole for refusing to share my food with a child unless they ate their own first? My partner and I have gotten into a fight whenever I was an asshole for not sharing food with my niece. The niece decided that she didn't want the thing she ordered when it arrived, so I had some food come from both her father and my partner. She then asked if she could have some of my food, and I replied, no, you can have some if you eat the food you ordered first. She did not eat any of the food she ordered, and although she didn't throw a tantrum, she did repeatedly keep saying that she wanted to try some of my food. They left, and not long after, my partner told me that my niece was crying on her way home. And both her father and my partner think that I should have just given her some of my food. My partner said some pretty harsh things along the lines of, "You're not who I thought you were," to me, and I'm incredulous that they're only taking my father's side. Sorry, the word incredulous is actually really funny to use in a post. But also saying things like that about me for not sharing food with a kid. If she'd eaten some of her food, I would have shared, but she didn't even touch it other than to move some to the side to make it look like she had. Yeah, I'm super confused at how this is blown up the way it has. I'm not a parent, so maybe I'm missing something here. Please enlighten me and I'll apologize for being an asshole, but I just can't see it. I don't think you're an asshole. This again goes back to like raising kids, like, hey, there are consequences for your actions. If you don't plan on having your own food, or if it doesn't look good on the menu, make previously established plans with people while they're ordering to ask if you can like split some of your food in case you don't like it. Me and my own siblings, whenever we would go to a new restaurant and weren't sure of like what we wanted, we would each order something and then like split it between the three of us to like, you know, to make sure we each got something that we liked and trying new things. And it's just kind of like spoiled behavior to have your kid order something and then let them not eat any of it. Unless, again, they make previously established plans with other members at the table to like, hey, can I split some of my food with you before that food is ordered? So I think it's fair to deny your niece from eating your food. Let's see, is this from the... No, okay. Let's see what the comments say. This happened to me years ago. The kid in question would order food when it came... This kid in question would order food. When it came, he didn't want it. He wanted my food. Not his mother's food, not his husband's food, my food. Of course, it was a power play. He'd order food he knew he didn't like or want. He'd refuse to eat it unless I traded. So I did for a few times. When he started playing this game, whatever he ordered, I ordered. Oh, then I started playing his game. Whatever he ordered, I ordered. He didn't notice or catch on at first until the food came. He'd look over at me and see the same thing. When he started giving me the side eye when I would order the same thing as him, I said, okay, sounds good. I'll have the same. He did outgrow this. That's a great way to do it. Unfortunately, it's really hard to do that when your niece is asking from food from everybody at the table. You know? Still not the asshole. That's a great tactic, though. Not the asshole, these people are nuts for raising an entitled person. Inclined to agree. should reconsider your relationship with your partner. I disagree. I always, when these sort of like misunderstandings happen, especially with somebody who's like very empathetic to other people and like kids and stuff, it can be very easy to formulate a negative opinion. I highly recommend talking to your partner when you have a disagreement like this, because it is a misunderstanding. And it is important that you both gain each other's perspectives. I agree with, you know, the person who posted this, but I can see where their partner is coming from of like, I thought you were better to kids and stuff like that. This isn't a case of being mean to kids. This is just somebody being a spoiled brat and you not putting up with it. And that's a different perspective. So it's always important to talk about your perspectives in your relationship rather than immediately come to a conclusion of like, oh, your partner's bad. Yeah, seems like people are pretty consistently saying this kid's just spoiled and you're not the asshole, which I'm inclined to agree. This one sounded funny to me too. Am I the asshole for towing half the neighborhood? My family, wife's side, have a summer apartment in the south of France in a gated community. All year, there's no parking issue, but in the summer, since Airbnb came out, it's hell to find a parking spot since there's no allocated spot. Brutal. There's a place with no clear parking line. Imagine a big square of concrete where everyone can park for free. I had the opportunity with 3 neighbors to buy this parking to the co-proprietary. It's like an HOA, but with a lot less power here. So we bought it last year. We made 6 large parking spaces for our cars with lines and plate numbers in the front of each parking spot, and put a gate which is always open so the other neighbors can park there. You can park 3 to 5 other cars. Here in France, July and August are 2 months where it's almost everyone on vacation. So Airbnb is and location. Oh yeah, so Airbnb is peak here during that period. Last week, one of the neighbors I bought the parking spot with told me the parking was packed, and he managed to park only 2 of his cars on an unassigned parking spot. His spots were taken, mine too, their neighbor too, and every free slot too. So he put a warning sign telling that parking is only for residents and nobody else. Q 2 days ago, when I come with my wife and kids for vacation, I drove the night to avoid traffic, and when I got there, 3 a.m., parking is packed. So I have no choice but to park 300 meters from my home. Woof. The next morning, we put a large sign telling cars cars on an assigned parking spot would be towed, and text every neighbor to ask for their plate to not tow a resident. Today, morning shit. This morning, same shit too. So we closed the gate, phoned the police, and got everyone towed. Shit hit the fan. A bunch of Airbnb people called the cops and homeowners to ask why they got towed, with the location saying free parking. So a lot of refunds were asked for. My phone was ringing nonstop today. Some homeowners tell me that they're going to sue for the refund that they got. Some Airbnb told me that they'll sue me for the towing costs. We have everything documented. Lots of Airbnb owners tell us that we're the assholes because we didn't tell them ahead of time. But we do put lots of signs up on parking since last year when we bought it. They just haven't come to see it. And they approved the selling of this parking to us. So, sorry for the bad English. It's obviously not my first language, and I'm in a lot of anger right now. So are we the asshole for towing everyone here? No, you're not the asshole. Quite the opposite, in fact, I would say. This is quite wonderful revenge. I know that Airbnb is a super hot topic. It's great that there's semi-affordable. It's great that there are additional residencies that people can stay at that aren't hotels while they're out on vacation and travel. But you got to be paying attention to the community that you're housing up. If you are actively parking in a spot that says residences only, don't park there. That's not for you. That's for residences. What did Uber? Let's see what the comments say. Airbnb has made parking a nightmare in a lot of places. The real issue is owners advertising amenities they don't control. Agreed, not the asshole. You warned them, they didn't listen. Tough shit for them. Exactly. Not the asshole. If I saw a parking sign in a language I didn't understand, I would either figure it out to see what it said or just not park there. Yeah. They legitimately just like common sense goes a long way in these kinds of situations, and it sounds like both the Airbnb hosts and residents, or like people staying at those Airbnbs, were not using common sense. So, yeah. Either way, not the asshole. Like that that's fucking rough. It's really funny though. It's awesome that he got all of their cars towed and like, you know, whatever refunds happen. I think you're fine. It was clearly marked. They should have been more aware of what's going on. So that concludes Reddit stories. That's kind of goofy, kind of silly. So yeah, that was a good time. That was a